Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome back to another episode of News Dose, where I give you all of the latest news in the game industry. And Xbox has once again done it with another great month of Xbox Game Pass games. I mean, honestly, I don't know how Phil Spencer and Team Xbox has pulled it off, but they have honestly made the best deal in all of gaming, and it's not even close. So we're going to talk about that here in just a minute. And also, it seems that Phil Spencer is already making plans for E3. The main question is, will E3 be any good this year for Xbox, and what should we come to expect? Also, we got plenty more to talk about, including Persona coming over to the Nintendo Switch, a new Nintendo Switch SKU, a big Witcher update, a new Call of Duty Battle Royale mode, and more, so stay tuned for all of that. But first, let's talk about Xbox Game Pass. There is a second wave of Xbox Game Pass games coming for the month of February, which has just been announced today. It is pretty funny though, because I said this a few weeks ago when they announced the first wave that I wouldn't be shocked to see more games coming this month, and I wasn't wrong because they announced a ton of games today, and pretty huge games for that matter, especially if you like Japanese games. So let's get right into this. They have Yakuza 0, Kingdom Hearts 3, 2 Point Hospital, the Jackbox Party 3, Wasteland Remastered, and Ninja Gaiden 2 were all announced for February Xbox Game Pass games. These are all console releases, with PC Game Pass receiving all of these except Kingdom Hearts and Ninja Gaiden, but instead they will get Game of Thrones Reigns. All of these will be available by the end of February, and honestly, Xbox Game Pass is just incredible. Kingdom Hearts 3 is not that old, and it really seems like a bit of a strategical move here. The reason I say that is because the Kingdom Hearts 2.8 HD collection just released today, I believe, so if you go buy that, then you will have access to all of the Kingdom Hearts games, which, let me tell you, is a wild ride. Kingdom Hearts is definitely one of the most confusing stories I've ever played, but there is something oddly magical about the entire experience. Either way, I do think it is a great experience, especially the third one, which is such a big step up in terms of its production values compared to the previous installments, and I think the combat is a lot of fun. I do highly recommend this game if you haven't played it already. Then you also have Yakuza 0, which has never appeared on Xbox before, and to see that come over to Xbox Game Pass day one is really nice to see. I'm hoping that Xbox Game Pass will get a lot of people to go over and check it out because, hey, if it does well enough, I could see Sega porting even more Yakuza games over to Xbox. For that matter, and I've been saying this for a while now, but Xbox Game Pass is the perfect way to get Japanese games on Xbox because it's going to allow people to play games they likely wouldn't have otherwise. So in a way, I could see this bringing even more Japanese-based games over, so if you like that type of thing, you definitely need to check out these games. I mean, this is from two of the biggest Japanese publishers with Square Enix and Sega, and they both do skip out on releasing games for Xbox pretty often actually. So who knows, maybe we will see more games from them in the future if these games are successful. I know a lot of Xbox fans would really like to see the Persona franchise come over to Xbox, and I think Xbox Game Pass may be a great opportunity for that. Of course, that wasn't all of the great additions though for Game Pass, because you also have 2 Point Hospital, Wasteland, and Ninja Gaiden 2, and all of these are really, they're great games. A lot of people even believe that Ninja Gaiden 2 is not only the best Ninja Gaiden game, but one of the best hack and slash games to ever be made. And I myself haven't played Indivisible, so I'm really excited to check that one out for myself. I love the art style of that game, and now that it is on Xbox Game Pass, I gotta go check it out. One thing is for sure though, Xbox Game Pass stays winning, and anybody who actually is subscribed to this, honestly, they're winning because this is such a great service. I can't believe how good it is, and it just seems to get better and better. Now, staying on topic of Xbox, Phil Spencer tweeted out that they are already going through E3 2020 meetings, and while this isn't really all that surprising as E3 is a huge event and likely does take a lot of planning, this does mean that leaks and rumors will probably start to pop up here soon as more people get involved with E3 plans. Now, what should we expect for E3 though? And I think I can give some direction here. I'm not saying that I know anything definitively, but with some speculation, I do think that we should have a little bit of a sense of some of the things that will happen at E3. Of course, we will be hearing a lot about Xbox Series X, hopefully the price and specs by this point, but what I'm the most interested in is what's up with some of the Xbox first-party studios. I think by this point we will be seeing the Initiative's new game, and we don't really have much information on it right now, other than that it is doing new things in old ways, which could mean it is a reboot of an older franchise. A lot of speculation has led to Perfect Dark, though this is just speculation, but I do know that the Initiative has a ton of talent, and when they first built this studio, they were advertising it as a big quadruple A studio. I think that is more marketing than anything, so I wouldn't get too hung up on that, but yes, I do 100% believe their new game, which is now playable, will be showing up at E3. I think Playground Games' next game will also pop up there, and I know most people think it's the next big Fable game. Based off everything that we do know, that sounds pretty accurate, but we do know for a fact it is an RPG, so even if it's not Fable, I still think it will be exciting to see a new RPG for Xbox. Of course, though, this game may not be ready yet. I think it may possibly show up this year, but it could be in 2021. I guess we'll just have to wait and see on that one. Insider Cloverell has also stated that Xbox is working on multiple old IP and that we will be hearing more about this in the coming months, so I'm thinking we will see a reboot or two at E3. Killer Instinct, I think, has a good chance of showing up there just based off how successful it was this generation, though I still have no idea as to who could be developing it, considering Iron Galaxy pretty much confirmed they aren't working on Killer Instinct, or at least one of their teams isn't. Halo Infinite should also show up there, and the next Forza Motorsports. Halo Infinite, of course, will be an Xbox Series X launch title, and I do believe Forza Motorsports will be as well. Psychonauts 2 might show up too. We still don't have a release date for that game, and I know Double Fine have been using that extra Xbox budget to make Psychonauts 2 even better, so I wouldn't be shocked to see it at E3. Then I know NXL has a mysterious RPG that we don't know much about yet. It's apparently one of the big reasons that Xbox acquired NXL, so this is beyond Wastelands 3, so I'm thinking we may get our first glimpse of the mysterious RPG from NXL. We could also see more Everwilds from Rare, though because that game is a few years away, I don't have high expectations for this game to be at E3, though I would, however, expect Age of Empires 4 to show up. I'm actually sneaky suspicious that they're going to announce Age of Empires 4 for the Xbox Series X. The thing is, though, Xbox just has so many developers, with almost all of them having multiple teams, it's hard to tell who will show up at E3. I only talked about some of the studios I do think we will absolutely hear from this year, but then you also have Compulsion Games, you have Ninja Theory, you have Undead Labs, Obsidian Entertainment, which supposedly has a mystery project themselves. There's also Project Mara, and you have Hellblade 2, which are being made by Ninja Theory. I mean, they could show more of those during E3. That's a possibility. And that's just from the first party. You also have to remember that Xbox Publishing partners up with several third parties to create second party titles. And I do think we will see some more Japanese games come over to Xbox and announced at E3. For that matter, I wouldn't be shocked to see an Asian studio to be acquired and announced at E3. Based off what Phil Spencer has said, they want a Japanese studio, but they also want more studios worldwide, so we could see that rumored Poland studio be acquired at E3 as well. I mean, when you piece together all we have come to know in just the last 6 months, E3 is sounding like it will be monstrous for Xbox, but I want to know, what are your expectations for Xbox's E3 this year? Let me know in the comments below. Moving on, we got some Nintendo Switch news today. Nintendo did announce a new Nintendo Switch Lite SKU today, which is a new collar for the Nintendo Switch Lite line. They're calling this new one Nintendo Switch Lite Coral, that is essentially a pink collar. This will be releasing on April 3rd. This is in addition to the other 3 being yellow, blue, or gray. I could definitely see this new coral collar being very popular with young girls who love pink collars. It's not earth-shattering news or anything, but it's still a welcome bit of news. Granted, we do have more Nintendo Switch news to talk about. The Witcher 3 is getting a big update for the Nintendo Switch that allows you to transfer your saved data from PC over to the Nintendo Switch. This is done through either Steam or GOG. You will also be able to change graphical settings on the Switch that may allow you to have sharper images than you would prior to this update. These settings include bloom, light shafts, depths of field, and the big one here is motion blur. Motion blur in The Witcher 3 is actually kind of insane, to be honest, and when you do turn that off, things become much more clear. Unfortunately, on other consoles, this does make it to where your frame rate dropping is much more noticeable though, but hopefully that isn't the case on the Switch. Either way, this is a pretty nice update, and hopefully it does make The Witcher look better on the Switch. Of course, it won't look as good as other consoles. I mean, I know that's impossible, but it's still impressive this is even possible on the Switch. And I know a lot of people will want to play it on the Switch simply for the handheld option, so this update is certainly welcome. Also, this next one is weird, but apparently the Nintendo Switch version of Devil May Cry 3 will be getting an exclusive cooperative mode in the Bloody Palace. You will be able to play Dante or Virgil in this co-op mode, and yeah, this was just a little strange. Devil May Cry 3 is a little older now, so to see it get an update at all like this, I mean, it's cool to see, but you know, I would think it would have been made available on all platforms, but hey, it is one more incentive to check out the Switch version over other platforms. And you know how we've been talking a lot about Persona coming over to the Nintendo Switch in the last couple weeks? Well, yesterday I did talk about this on Newsdose that an Atlas community manager told Nintendo fans to not give up hope and to keep fighting for Persona to come over to the Switch, and that she has even been fighting for it internally over at Atlas. Well, this sparked quite a surge within the community as Break Persona Free was trending on Twitter yesterday with over 23,000 tweets trying to get Atlas to notice fans want this to happen. And this is such a beautiful thing to see where fans have come together and want their voices to be heard. This isn't fans just getting angry, bringing out their pitchforks, but rather they're joining together to do exactly what that Atlas representative said to do. They're fighting, so I would highly encourage you to do the same thing if you want Persona on the Switch. Go to Twitter and break Persona Free, and hopefully we do get some good news sooner rather than later about Persona coming over to the Switch. Now, the last thing I want to talk about real quick is Call of Duty Warzone, which leaked online last week, where Call of Duty will be getting a free-to-play Battle Royale mode. This apparently is separate from Call of Duty Modern Warfare and is being developed by Infinity Ward and Raven Software. Well, the Video Game Chronicles did some digging around, and according to them, this should be available in the next few weeks at the earliest, barring any kind of complication, and is due out sometime in March. I myself am not a big Battle Royale fan myself, but I do think that this has a huge amount of potential, being both free to play and a Call of Duty game, which is one of gaming's biggest franchises. Hopefully it turns out pretty well for all of you who are excited for this. Anyways though, that's it for this episode, but if you liked the video, don't forget to hit the bell notification and subscribe button for more content just like this. Peace out.